Yo, what up? My name is Don, and today I want to talk about progressing without a plan, especially in regards to content creation. I've been seeing this come up a lot in the content creation space, especially on Twitter, with creators kind of having expectations without having a plan as to how to get to those expectations that they're seeking. So, with that said, let's hop right in. All right, so lately I've been seeing talk in the content creation space from some creators feeling like big companies, as a main example, overlook them, or they feel like small creators aren't looked at just in favor of numbers and stuff like that. And I think this comes down to the whole overarching idea of the video, which is progress without a plan. This idea and this conversation is kind of directed at newer content creators or younger content creators who are getting into the whole idea of streaming and or YouTube and making content your main business, something that you want to grow in. And work with companies being, I guess, one of the main pain points of a lot of content creators, because as I said, they have these expectations where they feel like just because they put in a lot of streaming hours, or just because they seem to be present all the time, or seem that they show up all the time, that they I guess deserve a spot when it comes to being chosen by things like sponsors. On Twitter, you see a lot of sponsors will tweet out, the social media managers will tweet out things like who wants to be the next partner and stuff like that. And lately in my circle, I've seen from both the people in the content creation space, and both from people that manage are partnership managers. So that make the connection to content creators, have both their opinions on it. And me, as a small creator, I did voice my opinion recently on one of the threads, just saying how, you know, it it can be very easy to think that you're being looked up or looked over. So I should say passed over, or passed up, um, by these companies just because you don't have thousands of followers. But it is my own experience, and I just want to be a voice of reason against the doubt that says that one of the recent opportunities I got was to work with Elgato on making a video. So I already made a video. It was my unboxing of the Elgato Stream Deck Plus, and there's another video coming on a new product they sent me. There's videos of it all over the internet already, so it's not a hidden thing. But I got this opportunity based on the fact that I not only pitched myself to the partnership manager, but when um, they enlightened me by saying, and they could have just said no with my initial pitch, but they kind of enlightened me by saying, if you can come up, with a good idea, a good script, a good pitch, a good, concept that we can go with, you know, potentially, like, I'd be more inclined to say yes. They didn't really say it exactly like that, but that was the gist of the message. And so, I took the entire day to write up a script for that video concept, and it got approved. And so, that is at least a toe in the door into creating that relationship in with a company that I want to work with. And when it comes to either live content creation or static content creation, I do believe there has to be a sort of long-term plan. I can I'll take myself and make myself the example. When it comes to my YouTube, you'll see all sorts of different content, and I myself am trying to narrow that down. And as you go through time, as time passes, you'll find content that you gravitate towards more, or content that you want to focus on more. And so, you'll see, going through my YouTube history, there was a lot more like League of Legends reactions earlier, not something that was entirely planned. And so it's something that you know by the time that the channel grew with that success, I didn't really know what to do with it. And so I ended up taking a month and a half, I think just under 2 month break, where there wasn't really anything to. Um, there was the success of the numbers, and while the numbers were growing, and there are a lot of other content creators who congratulate me or are a little bit jealous of the fact that I have over 6,600 subscribers now. It has taken a little while to get there, but I'm really saying that anybody can do it. And if they had a plan, which is simply, the plan doesn't have to be every single little detail, but if they had a general plan, and that general plan was just, as general as my plan was, which is just to make a YouTube video every single night and stay committed to the process, then I think that the rest of the puzzle pieces fall into place much easier when it comes to sponsors reaching out to you, and you feeling seen and or valued by these companies. Um, Progress without a plan is something that can plague content creators from the get-go, especially younger and or it doesn't have to be younger content creators, but when you're younger, you just know less about the industry primarily, or I should say generally, you know less about the industry. And if you're new, it doesn't matter what age you are, but if you're new to the whole content creation space, that is another reason why you would be, a bit uneducated about um, what to do and or like where to put your expectations based on how much effort you put in. I really like the YouTube example more so than the streaming example because streaming is something where myself have put over 200 hours monthly into streaming, and it's been at a point where um that doesn't really help me get ahead. It doesn't help me be seen by sponsors. And, making the switch up to put those not entirely 200 hours, but making the switch up to put a lot more of that energy into daily content creation has opened up a lot of doors for me. And so, the plan can start general, just as general as my plan, just make content every single day. And then you can narrow that down. And they always say, when I say they are the content creation gurus, the how to grow your channel, how to get 1,000 subscribers, how to get monetized, how to, all those people. They always say that Oh, they always say that you have to stay committed, number 1, and they always say niche down. They always say that you have to niche down, right? Niche down, niche down, niche down. Find your niche or your niche and appeal to that audience specifically. I think that's a great idea. And while, one may say, well, you're not doing that on your own channel, I think it's a process that can't be forced. I think that the greatest thing to do first and foremost is if you're not sure what kind of content creator you want to be, the most important thing is just to get used to the process and start to love the process of making content because you will find out what you want to be. Like any artist or like any musician, right? One of the things this is a commonality in music that I struggle with. I want to write music, and I think other musicians and other artists of other mediums can relate to this. I want to create music, but um, I play a lot of metal music. I play along to a lot of metal music, but when I want to create music, it doesn't necessarily want to come out metal music, so it doesn't want to come out heavy all the time. So I think that is better to just let the process flow. So, if I want to come out with music that's ambient and I eventually get to metal, that's great. If I want to, I think it's healthy for people to, on the YouTube side of things, if you want to do videos that are kind of anything at first and then you find something that you really latch onto that you really like, I think that's way better than not starting at all. The people who start now, and you'll see that, you'll find that, YouTube is something that's just been more and more of a sure bet, especially with the streaming landscape being so volatile over the past couple years. First, I won't say first, but one of the biggest events in the past couple years in streaming has been the advent of Kick streaming coming onto the scene, and Twitch really pulling their socks up and responding in ways that made the user experience way better on the website. And although I can't say the same thing about the monetary experience on the website, which is something that Kick targeted, I can't say that. Um, Competition is good, and you know youtube competition is always good for the end user, so it's always good for the content creator if they really understand how to use these different platforms to aid their plan. And I really think another idea that I want to just plant in people's heads is that you have to have your own plan rather than thinking that, like, some people want to pick Team Purple. Some people want to, the whole saying in the past was like bleed purple, like Twitch TV, right? Or some people want to latch onto the Kick saying pick Kick. And I personally have thought both are a bit odd because a platform can rise and fail so quickly. I don't necessarily think Kick is going to fail as in disappear, but then again, Mixer disappeared and Mixer had a lot of money backed by Microsoft. So it's not really, a money problem, the reason why these businesses and companies fail, but there's many other factors. So basically, the landscape is so volatile and YouTube is something that's always been so consistent. So if you have a general plan that revolves more around your own content rather than depending on a platform to prop you up, and thinking that you're making progress in live streaming when live streaming more often than not, in my experience, doesn't really consist of a plan. And when it does, that plan always leads into making content. So that is, that's what I wanted to touch on today. A lot of not only younger but newer content creators get so demoralized and demotivated, and lately I've just been seeing a lot of frustrations being vented on social media about them being overlooked, and I've shared these same feelings, but I think that once you love the process of just doing the work, the opportunities that come where you feel seen by a company, or they offer you some sort of partnership, sponsorship, or some opportunity that you otherwise wouldn't get, it feels rewarding, because it feels more self-rewarding because you actually built something of value that they then noticed, right? So that's my kind of gist on this one. I wish that more content creators would take into consideration how important it is to have even just a loose plan, as to what direction that you're going with your content. And this is not only pertinent to content creators, but all sorts of in real life and business and art and in everything. This is really prevalent in my own business as well. If I didn't have a plan in my business, it wasn't going to go well. And there are many situations that I've learned from not having planned better. So take my advice and have a plan. If you feel overseen by companies, approach them with the plan already written up. Meaning that if you want to make a video, have that script written up. That's the plan, right? If it's that you want to be at a convention or something like an art convention, start doing your art right now and collecting those pieces right now, so you don't have to get ready when the time comes. You want to be ready always, right? So, would love to know thoughts from other content creators, other artists, other musicians, just other art mediums in general. What you think of the idea of how important it is to have a plan, and the shortcomings or the disappointments that you see in your fellow artists or fellow content creators or fellow musicians when they are feeling disappointment because they are kind of drifting through the medium, right, without a plan. So, dump your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, if you like content like this, like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.